Hi guys, it's Arsenium here, and today I'm just going to go over my aim trainer that I like to use called Kovaak for Apex Legends. I am by no means great at aiming in this game, but I will tell you that after I've used this thing for about 6 months now, it has absolutely helped me become a much better player. I was able to get my 4K badge after using this program for about 2 months, 2 or 3 months. I'm almost at my 20K badge, got 19. One of these times I'll get it, I swear. So today I'm just going to go over that and how it has improved my aim. So here at the menu, you can see that you can match all your settings within Apex Legends. That's the sensitivity. You can also adjust other things within here. I just make sure all this stuff lines up. Use the default settings here. Unless you want to adjust these, feel free. Within the videos, make sure that matches what you're using in Apex. That's kind of the key here, is that you want this to as close to Apex settings as possible. That'll get you the most accurate results. Now here are the 4 that I like to do: the beginning clicking, beginning tracking, core clicking, and core tracking. These are the 4 that I like to use. I try to do one version of click tracking before I start playing Apex if I have the time. This is the beginning clicking, and it spawns 6 red balls, and your goal is to click as many as you can within the time allotted. The goal here is to not necessarily focus on accuracy at first, focus on speed. You want to try to jump between balls as fast as possible. That'll get you into the muscle memory of doing it. The other thing too with this one that is true for all these clicking, but this one is kind of really easy to notice, is if you are overshooting or undershooting these balls, you need to adjust your sensitivity. This is one part that you don't get in Apex very easily, is the noticeability of overshooting or undershooting. So I like this, that you can definitely dial in your sensitivity, whether you need to lower it or increase. Just naturally, right? There's no one setting that's great for everybody, so this will really help you dial that in. You can also, you do all these things like 2, 3, or 4 times depending on the task, but when you do finish, you get a final score and you get a current high score. I always try to beat my current high score, but what I really don't focus on too much is the top of the leaderboard. That's really high. So always try to beat your personal best. Don't focus on anything else. This one here is big boxes. There's 3 of them, and you got to kind of adjust how you're going to click. Because you click one, and then there's only 2 boxes left. So you don't want to really wait for the other one to spawn to click. You want to kind of try to get into a rhythm of clicking and just to build up that muscle memory, so that when you're clicking on these boxes, you're not worried about. You already know where you're going to go next. That's kind of the thing, and it'll really help out when it comes to like using things like the wingman and stuff. Again, it's just focusing on trying to beat your current high score, or honestly just trying to get a better average, because when you look at the top here, it's like, I don't know, my best is 99 and this guy's got 236. That's over double than what I do now, so that's awesome, but I will never be there, so understanding that is good too. Here, this is just a typical flick. It's really hard though, in my opinion. If you're really good at this, this probably means you're a really good wingman player. But it'll definitely help you get that muscle memory of flicking. You just click, click, and click. And you can do this one. This one happens 3 times as well. You just go from ball to ball. There is no real better way to do this one. You just gotta go where the ball is. I do find that the ones, because of this big gun, I do find the ones in the lower right are really hard to hit, but it's kind of true in game 2. If you're using a master or something and someone's covered by the gun, you got to be able to flick over there and pop off. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say about this one. It's a pretty standard flick. So again, just trying to beat your high score is really the name of the game here. Or be more consistent, maybe, might be the better way. Then you got this mini one. This one's for like your micro adjustments. So you really are got to just move your mouse a little bit. Whether you're a wrist or arm player, this one's much smaller, and it does give you that versatility of making tiny adjustments. And again, it's another one where you can easily tell if you're under or overshooting something to make those adjustments. That's why I really like this thing, is to really dial in that sensitivity and give you a visual representation of how you're aiming. And again, it's just like double what I click. I don't even know how to do that. So focus on your own record. This one's nice with they're moving now, so you get that kind of movement built in. Again, you're trying to focus where your shot's going to go next. That's kind of the whole theme to this, is to know where you're going next. And if you can build up that muscle memory to hit the current target and be tracking your target going forward, it'll help a lot. And you just can't do this in the firing range. Not very well anyways. You can hit the targets, and you can turn on the dummies, but it's not quite like a player. But that's it for the beginner clicking one. Yeah, you can really see some people are really good at this. I am not. But the beginning tracking, here's the best thing about Kovaak, is the tracking. You just don't get this in the firing range, and this is something that helps out a lot when it comes to figuring out how to actually track players. And I imagine this is true for any FPS. I just play a lot of Apex, so that's what I'm basing everything off of. But when you got a Wraith that's, you know, strafing left and right and bob and weaving, if you only are used to the firing range or your in-game experience, you don't get this. You get what, a minute of this, and then you do it 3 times, and you do it every day. You get way more exposure to tracking here, and this is where I think the strongest thing is. There is also another one this is long strafing. There's also one that's fast strafing that I'd also recommend, because it's this, but it's quickly moving left and right. But it's its own thing. It's not within this playlist. You can make your own playlists and stuff, but who's got time for that? Not me. If you do have time, it's a good one to go check out. It's kind of like a bonus one I would do if you got the time. Again, you got your current score and your final high score. Try to do better. Also, just try to do better than average most of the time too. Once you realize that you're better than average, it helps out too. This one is good for your long mouse sweeps across the mouse pad. When someone's right in your face and you're an arm player and you got to move that mouse all the way to their side, that's what this is good for, because this will track. This will really put you on the long strafe out, long strafe in. You're just gonna follow this guy. Now, he does have a certain amount of health, and then he'll respawn. But once he does that, it's not too bad. You gotta get used to doing it very long. So if you're a wrist player, right, and you're running out of mouse pad, that's an issue too. So you gotta adjust for that. It just gives you more abilities to figure out what your limitations are, what you need to adjust. It's a little tedious. It's not exactly the most interactive one, but it's definitely very important. Yeah, they do some do different. Some of the bots do different things, but generally this one just goes left to right. This one's not bad. This one's really fun, actually. You gotta track the bot, and then there's other bots going around. What this one's really good at doing is getting you to focus fire a target, right? So you've got this other bot that's floating around on your screen, and if you're like me in Apex Legends, sometimes you just swap off to, you do 50 damage to that guy pops out of the rock, you do 60 damage to him, and then you're back to the original guy doing another 50 damage, and then you go down, and had you just focus fired one target, you could have knocked him out of the fight, but instead you split your damage. And I think that's where this one really can be strong at, is learning how to focus fire a target, or at least get better at it, because you don't want to split your damage. You want to down one player, get them out of the fight, and then you can focus another target. But splitting damage across the team can sometimes be more hurtful, because then they always have 3 guns in the fight, whereas if you get knocked out, then there's only two guns, right? 2 people left on your team and you're 3 on theirs. Whereas if you were able to focus fire a team, or you can focus fire one of them, knock them out, and then your team will have the advantage, being 3v2. It's always better to have more teammates up. But yeah, again, it's just about focusing one target. And you can also notice if you're constantly behind or you're constantly ahead. and then you can make adjustments based off of that. Now, I wouldn't make adjustments right away, though. I would wait until you've done it a few times and see if it's consistent. For the vertical strafe, this one, I actually kind of hate this one, but I understand it's very important. It's just up and down. No left, no right, just up and down. So it's really getting the mouse pull. And again, it's one of those ones that you would think would be super simple, but ends up being a lot harder than it looks. Yeah, so it's good for like recoil. If you can match this, you can probably match most recoils. It's also good for tracking up and down. But basically, it's a lot of mouse up and down. It's a minute of up and down. It just gets you really used to going up and down and pulling your mouse straight down rather than maybe at a slight angle one way or the other. Because you'll notice if you're going off to the left or right. So I definitely recommend doing this one. It's also like probably the most boring one, but it's also very helpful. Yeah, so I definitely encourage this one a lot, but I also hate it at the same time. Last one is tracking a ball. This is just you're tracking. This is pure tracking. That's again, it's nothing super entertaining, but it can be kind of fun. It just kind of bounces around this wall. So yeah, not much to say here. You'll get the idea. And if you do this, you know, every day before you warm up, I can almost guarantee you'll see a difference in your aiming. It's definitely any core concept to any FPS, and this will transfer to other games too. So it's worth it. I'm gonna leave a link down in the description below to the Steam item. It's usually only like $5, and you can get it on sale for cheaper than that. As usual, if you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give me a thumbs down, but leave a comment below and let me know why you didn't like it so I can fix it for next time. If I don't know what I did wrong, I can't fix it. Thanks. Bye.